So we've just released a video looking at the R7 and whether or not it's worth it for video users. We went through each aspect of the camera, its recording options, its battery performance, physical design, and decided, yeah, absolutely, it's a very sensible and practical choice for professional video use on a budget or as a B camera, for example. But what about the R10? Its little sibling. It's released on the same day, it's smaller, it's lighter, it's definitely cheaper, and it shares many of the similar features. This is a great little stills camera. In fact, it's one I would absolutely buy for myself for simple home photography. I really love this R10. But for professional video use, I'm not so sure. If the R7 didn't exist, things might perhaps be different. I might be saying that the R10 is a limited but reasonable entry-level option for video use. But the R7 does exist. And yes, it's more expensive, but for me, it is so much better and so close in price point in the big scheme of things that it's so worth it. I struggle to picture the customers that I would recommend don't spend that little bit more and upgrade to the R7, which is, I suppose, at first glance a bit surprising considering on paper they do appear fairly similar. So let's break down what you gain by stepping up to the R7 over the R10. Well, there are 4 important physical differences between the two cameras which in my opinion are absolutely worth the extra price tag. Firstly, the R10 uses Canon's E17 batteries, which just don't last anywhere near as long as the LPE6NH batteries on the R7. The R7 has a stabilised sensor, while the R10 doesn't. The R7 has 2 card slots in the grip, while the R10 has only 1, and it's in the battery compartment, which is a bit of a pain to access when you're working. But perhaps most importantly, the R7 has a headphone jack on the camera, while the R10 doesn't. Now you can get around that by using the Tascam XLR unit, as the R10 does have that same MI accessory shoe that the R7 does, which is a fantastic addition to see on an entry-level camera like this. But if you don't have that Tascam unit, which to be honest costs the same sort of as the price between these two cameras, if you're just putting your audio straight into this camera, you're not going to be able to monitor that audio at all. Then there's the recording options. The R10 can do the oversampled 4K mode, which does look excellent. But that's now the only 4K full sensor mode. There's no regular 4K if you like. You can get to 4K 50 like on the R7, but this time you have to enable the 4K crop mode to do it, which is a 1.6 times crop on top of the 1.6 times crop that the APS-C sensor already has over full frame. And there's no C-Log 3 anymore. Now you can still enable 422 10-bit recording, but only by turning on HDR PQ mode, which people really don't use very often in camera for professional video work. There is quite a bit that's the same. The lens options are the same, it's the same RF mount, so same lenses, same adapters. The autofocus is just as good here as it is on the R7, and it is an excellent autofocus system for both stills and video. It's the same flip out screen, the same MI shoe, and like I said, the video quality is actually very nice. It's very sharp and detailed. It's not like the R10 is a bad camera for video. You could do, and I have used, an awful lot worse. And like I said at the start, as a stills camera, I really love the R10. I'm actually much more tempted to buy one of these myself than I am to buy an R7, simply because of its size and price point. I would love an R10 for home photography outside of work. But for professional video work, you need a bit more than that. The R10 does feel a little bit like you are making do with a consumer camera, if that makes sense. And I think, to be honest, pretty much every one of our customers would be better served by stepping up to the R7. But what do you think? Am I missing something? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Would you buy an R10? Perhaps you want to buy one yourself for home photography outside of work, or would you step up to the R7? Let me know in the comment section if you want to buy either. Head over to proav.co.uk. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.